ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। We are reading from the book Beyond Birth and Death by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We are in the first chapter. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया अपहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधो न विधीयते। त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्. Translation. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. The Vedas deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. The word Veda means book of knowledge. There are many books of knowledge which vary according to the country, population, environment, etc. In India, the books of knowledge are referred to as Vedas. In the West, they are called the Old Testament and New Testament. The Muhammadans accept the Quran. What is the purpose of all? What is the purpose for all these books of knowledge? They are to train us to understand our position as pure soul. Their purpose is to restrict bodily activities by certain rules and regulations, and these rules and regulations are known as codes of morality. The Bible, for instance, has 10 commandments intended to regulate our lives. The body must be controlled in order for us to reach the highest perfection. And without regulated principles, it is not possible to perfect our lives. The regulative principles may differ from country to country or from scripture to scripture, but that doesn't matter, for they are made according to the time and circumstances and the mentality of the people. But the principle of regulated control is the same. Similarly, the government sets down certain regulations to be obeyed by its citizens. There is no possibility of making advancement in government or civilization without some rules and regulations. In the verse above, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that the regulative principles of the Vedas are meant to control the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. However, Krishna is advising Arjuna to establish himself in his pure constitutional position as spirit soul beyond the dualities of material nature. So Srila Prabhupada has put this concept in a very simple manner, right? All the Vedas, Veda means knowledge, the book of knowledge. And the book of knowledge may vary from based on time, place, circumstances, and the mentality of the people. Right? So that is why we see for different categories of people, there are different books of knowledge. Right? So just like it is very easy to understand, the books which are given for studies for first standard or first grade student is not the same which is given for a student who is in 10th grade, right? So for first grade, second grade, there are different sets of books, and for the high school, 8th, 9th, 10th, there are different sets of books. And if you go further for 11th, 12th grade, or the bachelor degree, or for the PG degree, the different grades, different books of knowledge are given. For all of them, the books of knowledge are not the same. So similarly, in this world, different messengers of God came, and based on the place where they appeared, the mentality of the people of that place, and the situation and circumstances, based on all these factors, they gave the instructions under the direction of the Supreme Lord. And that becomes the book of knowledge for the people living in that particular place. Now, if you see in the Bible, there are 10 commandments, right? And the 10 commandments, if any person who belongs to a society wherein Sanatana Dharma or Vedas are followed, if he reads those commandments, for him who is really following Sanatana, the principles of Sanatana Dharma, for him, the commandments given in the Bible are all by default followed. They need not follow, put efforts to follow those commandments. The very simple commandments are, thou shalt not kill, right? A real follower of Sanatana Dharma does not harm another living entity. He does not kill. What to speak of killing, he does not even harm another living entity. Because those are the teachings of our ancient Sanatana Dharma scriptures. Right? Whereas in the Bible it is mentioned, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder. Why this instruction is given? Because the people in that place, in those circumstances, were killing either the other humans or other animals. That is why this instruction came. Another instruction comes that the person should not run away with the neighbor's wife. This is another commandment. This is one of the 10 commandments in the Bible. So you can imagine in those places, in those circumstances, people were not following the dharma of vivaha, that if you are married to a woman, you should stick on to your wife for the entire life. You should not go for illicit connection, extramarital affairs. That is why that instruction is given. Right? So like this, you see there are many other examples like that. Thou shall not cheat, right? All these examples, thou shall not steal. In Bhagavad Gita, in Bible, Jesus Christ speaks to his followers. And at one point of time, he says that I have so much to to share with you. I have so much knowledge to give to you, but you are not qualified. You are not qualified to receive that knowledge. I have so much to give. Whereas in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, what I have spoken to you, O Arjuna, is the summit of knowledge, is the end of knowledge. Beyond this, there is nothing to be known. Right? You see the difference? Jesus Christ says, I have so much knowledge to share with you, but you are not qualified to receive that knowledge. And here Krishna says, I have given you everything. What I have given you is the end of knowledge, is the conclusion of all the scriptures. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda videva chaham. From all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas. Right? So here, Srila Prabhupada makes this very easy to understand that all these religions are there, their scriptures are there, but they are not same. The instructions are not same because the instructions are given based on the time, place, circumstances, and the mentality of the people. Just like the instruction of a father to his 5-year-old child is not same as the instruction what he gives to the child who grows to 18-year-old, right? The instructions are different. Similarly, you see the difference between the instructions of the scriptures of different religions, but there is one similarity, one instruction which is common, and that is all of us, we are not these bodies, we are spirit soul. And when we understand that we are spirit soul, we understand that there is supreme soul as well. And when we understand there is supreme soul as well, we try to understand what is my connection, what is my relation with the Supreme Law, what are my activities with the Supreme Law, right? So that is why all the scriptures going ahead from the concept of the soul, all the scriptures they give for, especially for Kali Yuga, the way, the method, the process for self-realization is chanting the holy names of God. You can find it in Quran, you can find it in the Old Testament, New Testament, the Bible, you can find it in Guru Granth Sahiba, you can find it in the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads. So the principles are same, but the instructions differ from country to country or from scripture to scripture. Right? But that doesn't matter, for they are made according to the time, circumstance, and mentality of the people. Right? As we have already pointed out, these dualities such as heat and cold, pleasure and pain arise due to the contact of the senses with their objects. मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगम अपायिनो अनित्यास ताम स्थितिक्षस्व भारता. Krishna has already told this in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In other words, they are born of identification with the body. So all these dualities are born: pain, pleasure, heat, cold, mana, apamana, dvandvas. The dualities are born because of the concept of the body. Because we identify ourselves with the body, we see these dualities in our mind. Krishna indicates that those who are Sorry for the interruption. As we have already pointed out, these dualities such as heat and cold, Krishna indicates that those who are devoted to Krishna indicates that those who are devoted to enjoyment and power are carried away by the words of the Vedas, which promise pain or heavenly enjoyment by sacrifice and regulated activity. Enjoyment is our birthright, for it is the characteristics of the super soul, characteristic of the spirit soul. But the spirit soul tries to enjoy materially, and this is the mistake, right? So enjoyment is our birthright because Atma is Satchidananda. The characteristic of Atma is eternally happy, right? But after coming under the three modes of material nature because of our own free will, to identify with the body and trying to enjoy materially is the mistake. Enjoying on spiritual platform is not a mistake. Just like when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you are happy. So that happiness is not a mistaken happiness, that is real happiness. When you dance in Sankirtan, when you sing out loud Krishna's names, when you have darshan of the Supreme Lord, when you honor prasadam in the temple or at your home, when you do aarti to the Lord, when you speak to a devotee in the temple who is engaged in Krishna's service, when you do book distribution, all this is actually true happiness. This is not a mistaken happiness. But all the happiness which comes out from the bodily concept of life, eating the non-prasadam, that which is not offered to Krishna, hearing something which is not connected to Krishna, hearing songs of the mundane movies, watching mundane movies, and for that matter, anything which is not connected to Krishna, but you are trying to enjoy it and you are trying to find pleasure out of it, that is actually a mistaken pleasure. It is not real pleasure. Everyone is turning to material subjects for enjoyment and is compiling as much knowledge as possible. Someone is becoming a chemist, physicist, politician, or artist, or whatever. Everyone knows something of everything and everything of something. And this is generally known as knowledge. But as soon as we leave the body, all of this knowledge is vanquished. In a previous life, one may be a great man of knowledge, but in this life he has to start again by going to school and learning how to read and write from the beginning, isn't it? Whatever knowledge was acquired in the previous life is forgotten. Very much true. The situation is that we are actually seeking eternal knowledge, but this cannot be acquired by this material body. We are all seeking enjoyment through these bodies, but bodily enjoyment is not our actual enjoyment. It is artificial enjoyment. We have to understand that if we want to continue in this artificial enjoyment, we will not be able to attain our position of eternal enjoyment. Many people think that I'll go to temple also. Every Saturday I'll go to temple of Shani Dev or Hanuman, and all other days from Sunday till Friday I will do meat eating, gambling, intoxication, and all kinds of sinful activities, and still I will be happy. No, it is not possible. If we continue in this artificial enjoyment, we will not be able to attain the eternal position of eternal enjoyment. It is not possible. The body must be considered a diseased condition. A diseased man cannot enjoy himself properly. A man with jaundice, for instance, will taste sugar candy as bitter. Very beautiful example Srila Prabhupada gives. And this example is given by Srila Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Right? As bitter will taste sugar, a jaundice patient will taste sugar candy as bitter, but a healthy man can taste its sweetness. In either case, the sugar candy is the same, but according to our condition, it tastes different. Unless we are cured of this diseased conception of bodily life, we cannot taste the sweetness of spiritual life. Indeed, it will taste bitter to us. At the same time, by increasing our enjoyment of material life, we are further complicating our diseased condition. A typhoid patient cannot eat solid food, and if someone gives it to him to enjoy and he eats it, he is further complicating his malady and he is endangering his life. If we really want freedom from the miseries of material existence, we must minimize our bodily demands and pleasures. Right? So at the same time, we cannot do both the things. Right? Increasing the material demands and pleasure, and on the other side I want to get rid of material life. Both are not possible. Right? So unless we stop all our material activities, we cannot develop real taste for the spiritual activities. We may be, or we may remain in the illusion throughout our life that somehow I will manage to perform material activities also, I'll go behind material pleasures also, and side by side I will chant Hare Krishna also. So the eternal real taste for the holy name will never develop. If we continue to enjoy material pleasures, then the taste for holy name will never come. Many people have this question after chanting for so many years also, why do I not have the taste for the holy name? Why I am not able to chant Hare Krishna with pleasure, with asakti, with ruchi, with taste? I am chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. I was chanting 10 years back also mechanically. Now also I am chanting mechanically. So long we don't stop this mechanical chanting and begin to chant with attention, keeping aside all the other material engagements, till then the real taste for the holy name will never develop. And unless we develop taste for the holy name, there is no question of mitigating material miseries. We will continue to suffer the miseries so long we don't develop the prema, the love, the taste for the holy name of Krishna. Right? So our situation is like a typhoid patient. He should not be given solid food. Right? So we are spirit soul. A spirit soul should not be given material pleasures. By chance somebody feeds a typhoid patient solid food, instead of curing, it will complicate the misery of the patient. It may complicate to such an extent that the patient may lose his life. Similarly, when we try to enjoy material pleasures, it is like giving poison. Even our great acharyas also speak that those who are after material pleasures, they are drinking poison. Drinking poison means what? Putting an end to the life. So those who are enjoying material life, we are putting an end to our spiritual growth. In this life, if we are not able to perfect the devotional practice, then we'll have to take another life and again suffer in that life. Right? So that is why we must minimize our bodily demands and pleasures. Actually, material enjoyment is not enjoyment at all. Real enjoyment does not cease. In Mahabharata, there is a verse, Ramante yogino anante, to the effect that the yogis, yoginaha, those who are endeavoring to elevate themselves to the spiritual platform, are actually enjoying. This enjoyment is the real enjoyment. But their enjoyment is anante, endless. But the enjoyment in the material world, with the material senses, is flickering. This is because their enjoyment is in relation to the supreme enjoyer, Rama, Shri Krishna. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is the real enjoyer. And Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim richati. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and the well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. So, this is the peace formula given by Lord Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. So, who can attain peace from the pangs of material miseries? Those who understand Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, that Krishna is the Bhoktaram, he is the enjoyer of Sarva Tapasam, of all tapasyas. Bhoktaram Sarva Tapasam Sarva Loka Yagna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, and he is the controller of all the demigods and the planets. And Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, he is the most dear friend of all living entities, right? He is the actual best friend of all living entities. And when one understands this, he can attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. Bhoga means enjoyment, and our enjoyment comes from understanding our position as the enjoyed, right? So there are two. One is enjoyer and enjoyed. So our position is that we are enjoyed. The real enjoyer is the Supreme Lord, and we are enjoyed by him. An example of this relationship can be found in the material world between the husband and the wife. The husband is the enjoyer, Purusha, and the wife is the enjoyed, Prakriti. The word Pri means woman. Purusha or spirit is the subject, and the Prakriti or nature is the object. The enjoyment, however, is participated in both by the husband and the wife. When actual enjoyment is there, there is no distinction that the husband is enjoying more or the wife is enjoying less. Although the male is the predominator and the female is the predominated, there is no division when it comes to enjoyment. On a larger scale, no living entity is the enjoyer. All of us are enjoyed. God expanded into many, and we constitute those expansions. God is one without a second, but he willed to become many in order to enjoy. We have experienced that there is little or no enjoyment in sitting alone in a room talking to oneself, right? However, if there are 5 people present, our enjoyment is enhanced. And if we can discuss Krishna before many people, the enjoyment is all the greater. Enjoyment means variety. God became many for his enjoyment, and thus our position is that of enjoyed. That is our constitutional position and the purpose for our creation. Both enjoyer and enjoyed have consciousness, but the consciousness of the enjoyed is subordinate to the consciousness of the enjoyer. Although Krishna is the enjoyer and we the enjoyed, the enjoyment can be participated in equally by everyone. Our enjoyment can be perfected when we participate in the enjoyment of God. There is no possibility in our enjoying separately on the bodily platform. Material enjoyment on the gross bodily platform is discouraged throughout Bhagavad Gita. Just like, suppose a big man, a rich man is traveling in his Mercedes car, right? So his servant, his personal servant, his driver, they are also traveling in the same car. So the facilities which are enjoyed by the owner of the car are also enjoyed by the driver and the PA, the personal assistant, right? The soft cushioned seats, the AC, right? And all that comfort is also enjoyed. Though they are servants, they are enjoying with the owner, right? So similarly, our enjoyment is to give enjoyment to Krishna, right? So again, Krishna, Prabhupada mentions this verse where the duality, how we have to tolerate. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayino anityas tam stitikshasva bharata. These verses of the Bhagavad Gita are the most important verses. Whenever you go out, you find some people, right, who are interested in Krishna consciousness, you can put forward these verses and start explaining to them. When you quote verses, your speech, your talk becomes more authentic, right? That you are quoting from, you are referring to a shastra, and Bhagavad Gita is widely known scripture in the entire world, right? So when you quote a verse from Bhagavad Gita, it becomes more authentic and people develop more interest to hear you. So that is why Srila Prabhupada again and again quotes different verses based on the context. Prabhupada quotes different verses from Bhagavad Gita. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. The gross material body is a result of the interaction of the modes of material nature and is doomed to destruction. Right? This body is doomed to destruction. Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmad yudhyasva bharata. Only the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, eternal living entity is subject to destruction. Only the material body is subject to destruction. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Shri Krishna therefore encourages us to transcend the bodily conception of existence and attain to our actual spiritual life. Gunanetan atityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkher vimukto amritamashnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. Right? When one becomes free from the influence of these three gunas, he becomes free from birth, death, old age, and disease. These four are the real miseries of life and can enjoy nectar. Vimukto amritam ashnute, can enjoy nectar even in the present life. To establish ourselves on the pure Brahma Bhuta spiritual platform, above three modes, we must take up the method of Krishna consciousness. Now, if you want to transcend these three modes of material nature, you have to take up Krishna consciousness. The gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the chanting of the names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Maha Mantra facilitates this process. This method is called Bhakti Yoga or Mantra Yoga, and it is employed by highest transcendentalists. How the transcendentalists realize their identity beyond birth and death, beyond the material body, and transfer themselves from the material universe to the spiritual universe are the subjects of the following chapters. So here we end the first chapter. We'll see you in the next session with the chapter number 2. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki Sai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.